Hello, beautiful, amazing people. I love you. Thank you so much for everything. Being you, doing the work, support, love, care, all that good stuff. Very much appreciated. Appreciated. Sending it right back to you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm going to tell you a different story though, because I believe that Jesus died for his own sins, not for the sins of others. And before I prove that to you and answer, it's not even a question, but go through the why or how, let me start off by prefacing things into the truth. So we live in a simulation. You exist in a simulation. This physical form that you are in right now is in a simulation. What does that mean? That means that this vast universe has all these micro little universes. Some people call it the multiverse. Yes, it is a multiverse. This is a simulation. It's like a scientist doing an experiment, and they're doing multiple experiments to try to find a solution to a bigger problem. They have all these little experiments going on at the same time to find a solution to a bigger problem. Or in this case, how this is running is that these simulations they're just stories. They're just computer games. They're just movies. And I'll go back because in the beginning, and I've talked about this for years now, and in the beginning of this channel, I told you about the right and the left hand of God, the faces of God, Father and Mother. They are up there in heaven, and they are the entities that fragmented or split from God to create consciousness so that God could go out and experience life, or the void. Go see what's in the void. That's what God wanted these two to do. Hey, go out there and explore the void. What is the void? This is the void. It is the emptiness. It is the emptiness in consciousness. It's infinite. Infinite. And so God created these two. Now, they're kind of like minds, consciousness. They are the two original creators. God is not the creator. God is the one that created the two, that created the universe, that then decided to create all these multiverses or all these simulations. These two are massive, massive in size. And when I had the honor of viewing this from many different angles, to me, these two entities look like a flow of energy, pure energy, just flowing down from the heaven into these simulations, into these little multiverses. And every single multiverse like this is different. It's running different programs. It's running different stories. So my life as me, as Rebecca, is a tiny dot. I mean, tiny. Compared to my greater self, my infinite self, she's a massive. And so to her, when I'm, going through this experience, for me, this is traumatic. This was awful. Why did I have to go through all this? This is stupid. And even before I even came into this body, I was like, and I'm having a conversation with them about coming here. I'm like, I don't want to go there. This is a suicide mission. I know exactly what's going to happen to me. I'm going to get trapped in that system and I'm going to die. Or I'm going to get killed. It's going to be hell. It is hell. But I was told it's going to be different this time. And now I finally realize why. And yes, it is going to be different this time. So anyway, the point is that these two energies, how did we get to this particular simulation where we are on Earth, planet Earth, okay? How we got to this was Sophia. Sophia is the energy on the feminine side that comes straight from God. On the masculine side, people call that Christ energy. I don't have a name for it. And honestly, I don't like labels or names anyway, because then when you do that, you give it form. And these two energies are formless. So, but for sake of this video, I'll use the term that was given to me, that was shown to me, which is Sophia. Sophia decided, because she was curious, that she's in heaven with her counterpart, her divine counterpart. I mean, you can call them Adam and Eve, whatever. And she's like, you know what? I want to go out there and see what's out there. And so she jumped. She jumped into the void, into the nothingness, to see what was out there. And that's when things got a little messy. Sort of. Because in all honesty, these two have always been in control of everything, every move. Always. There isn't anything that they don't know. That's not going to happen. They're it. But when she went into the void, she wanted to create life in the material realm, Earth. We'll stick with Earth. So what she did was she created a different counterpart. You guys will know it as the demiurge or the fake god. To me, the original was Samael. I've talked about Samael in many of my previous videos. Go back and listen if you want. But the point is that from her, from Sophia, she created a different counterpart, a false counterpart called Samael. Why was he false? Because he wasn't divine. He was not a divine being, and therefore he was flawed, immediately flawed. This created a huge problem on Earth. Was it a huge problem? Not really. Because from her perspective, it's all just a movie. From God's perspective, it's just a video game. Think of your kid. My kid is in there playing Minecraft and he's building worlds and he's excited. Then he has these marauders or these others come in and they crash and tear up his world. He gets pissed off, screams, angry, but then he goes back in and he creates new. Did that affect him? Emotionally, a little bit. But did he forget about it a week later? Yeah, because he rebuilt. Welcome to this simulation. God doesn't give a shit. And I mean that with love. Because God's like, hey, let's just rebuild. Let's just wipe the petri dish clean and let's do it again. Sophia, on the other hand, got a little attached. She got attached to the material realm and she got attached to the demiurge. The demiurge, the fake god, Samael, then decided, because he was not connected to God, he was not divine, he totally rejected God, that he was going to create a system within the system. He was going to create his own. And therefore, he did. He did exactly that. He created the system here that keeps humans trapped, bound, and enslaved to his will. And he thinks that he is God and that all shall worship and bow to him. That's a problem. I mean, sorta. Again, it's just a movie. But when you're on the receiving end, it's a problem. Nobody here that lives this experience has been victimized, and pretty much all of you at some point, you don't like that. It doesn't feel good. It's not nice. Why are you doing that? But the problem is that this demiurge, this fake god, Samael, had to fuel itself. Think of a narcissist. It's a sociopath is what it is here. It's a sociopath. A sociopath has no emotions. They feel nothing. They could, like Jeffrey Dahmer, they could murder people, take lives, and feel absolutely nothing. In fact, what it does for them is it fuels them. The energy that they are receiving from those individuals when they do those acts fuels them. And that's exactly the system that he built. And that system farmed energy off of humans. And then that energy fed up into Samael, which then empowered him to sit on that fake throne as a god, in essence, although he is not. And he bound Sophia, who came into a physical form, okay, because this energy is just energy. It's formless. It has no label, no title. But when it comes into a form, label it Sophia, now it has form. Now it has identity. And he enslaved her to believe that she was wrong, that she did something wrong. And so she felt guilt and shame. Was it true? Did she do something wrong by creating a new world, a new realm, by creating a false god? Yes and no. Yes, because it did enslave an entire planet. No, because it was always meant to be like this. This is just a simulation. Now comes the fun part. There is, and I'll put this on in the description of this video. There is a YouTube channel that I want you to check out. It's called Primal Mythology. Yeah, Primeval Mythology. And in there, they do a video called The 7 Layers of the Gnostic Universe. I want you to check that out. That is absolutely 100% accurate. And that is how Samael built the layers of the system to keep individuals trapped, to keep humans trapped so that they could siphon energy off of them. Ironically, there are 7 layers. There are 7 chakras. Now, in that video, it talks about the different levels and the different archons. I didn't realize that the archons were the term or the label for these beings. To me, in one of my videos, I call them they're infiltrators. They are energies that troll the matrix, that troll the system to look for people who are trying to get out of it. And then what they do is they attack. They will download false thoughts. They will download false energy, false beliefs. They will interrupt frequencies by sending negative emotions, or they'll physically attack. These energies, because they're energies, are there to make sure that there's control and order, and that the system maintains its control over everyone and everything. Now, back to why did Jesus die for his sins? Here we go. In these 7 levels, okay, and this is in the Gnostic text. The Gnostic texts were written by Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was a physical being who embodied the energy of Sophia. She was the wisdom. She was the knowledge. She knew. What she wrote in the Gnostic text is absolutely accurate. You want to know what the real Bible is? That's the real Bible, which is why they suppressed it, oppressed it, pressed her, silenced anyone that believed in it. They murdered them, they burned the texts, and they hid them. And then when they were found again in the 1940s, the Vatican took control of them so that they could create a smear campaign, getting ready so that they could diffuse it. That's when you know there's truth. Mary Magdalene was teaching Jesus. Think about that. Mary's writings were of the truth. She didn't write about what Jesus was doing. She wrote what he was preaching. The apostles, which there were 12 of them, they wrote their experience of watching Jesus do these things. Jesus was not only using her knowledge and wisdom to preach, he was also using her energy. She was tapped into Sophia, the original creator. Jesus reached a false enlightenment. False enlightenment is level 4 in the Gnostic. Level 4 is where you actually go and you meet Samael. And you get to the light. And I experienced this in my 20s when I died. I went to the light. It was very peaceful. It was very loving. It was very amazing. And I did not want to leave. And they said, too bad, you're not done. You need to go back. And I said, fuck you. Because I was pissed. Because this was hell to me. But I came back, and I came back with a vengeance. And not number 2, I came back with powers. I was able to do some incredible things back then in my 20s when I went through that false enlightenment. I went through this false enlightenment again about 5 years ago. Same thing. Went back to the false god, which at that point I knew was a false god, and I basically looked him in the face and said, again, fuck you. You're not God. That's what happened with Jesus. He went to the false god, Samael, thought that was God, came back, thought he was enlightened, started preaching, connected and attached to Mary Magdalene, who was actually the real source, the real power, the real knowledge. And then he started to preach her stuff without giving her the proper accolades, without supporting her. He did it through ego. Because he thought he was right. He thought he was serving a God, a masculine God. And he was creating a new religion that would send all of the energy to this fake God, this demiurge, Samael. Mary Magdalene knew. She knew what he was doing. She was trying to teach him. She was trying to get him out of the loop. She was trying to help him, but he wasn't listening to her at all. And in fact, in the Last Supper, in the painting, Leonardo, what is it? Da Vinci, I think. He knew it too. No one's been able to tell you exactly what that is. That's supposed to be Jesus. That's supposed to be Mary. Mary is leaning as far away from Jesus as she can. Why? Because she wants nothing to do with him. She's creating separation. Because what he's doing is going to cause even more enslavement through religion for the entire race. And that's exactly what it did. And when I went through the stigmata, which is I went through parts of the death of Jesus, at the end, he went back to God, but it was actually the demiurge, God. And he said, why? Why did you let this happen? Why did you not come and save me when you said you would? And God, the demiurge, said, you should have known better. Jesus was pissed. He was pissed. He just realized in that moment he was duped. He was duped. And he got stuck in the same system that the demiurge was controlling. And Sophia, Mary Magdalene, was his way out. And he didn't listen. So yes, he fell under karmic law, which is under the demiurge system, level 5. And he was done. He had to reincarnate. He had to go back into another form and stay locked in the system. And then for Mary, she got the hell out of there. And then she was highly protected, and her bloodline has been highly protected. So did Jesus deserve to die? Did he die for his sins? Number one, did he deserve to die? There's two ways to look at that. Number one, there is no death. Death is just the elimination of a carbon body. It's the essence of who you are that lives on, the energy. So you never truly die. Your memories, your thoughts, your beliefs, all of that stuff is still there. It's still a part of the system, and it can be accessed. Was he locked in the old system under the demiurge? Yep, he was a slave. She was freeing herself. She was trying to help him and show him, and he didn't listen. And so therefore, he went through what he went through. Did he deserve to die? I mean, I don't know how to answer that. He had to go through what he went through. Otherwise, he would not have had the epiphany that he had, which was allowed him to come back into this life, and we've had to do it again. The difference is that the demiurge, Samael, got forced into a body during this timeline. Because Samael thought he was a god because he was up there playing a video game. So he's like, well, screw all of you. Like, I'm just going to siphon all your energy off of you, and then I'm just going to kill you and make more copies of you. I don't care. That's how he viewed life. He views life. So he got thrown into a body so he could feel what it feels like to suffer, to feel the pain, to feel the loss, to feel the things that you have deemed invaluable. Now you have to feel that. He don't like that. A tyrant, a narcissist, who are little boys throwing temper tantrums, they don't like that. And Sophia understands that. She understands that she created him. That Jesus was just another form of that energy. Jesus was not divine. Sorry, he wasn't. And that these energies had to learn. They have to feel what they're doing and understand what they're doing in order to be released. And Sophia has to be released as well, because Sophia got stuck in this system as well, thinking, I'm lower than this demigod, this fake god, and I'm in chains and I'm enslaved. And this is what has kept this system in a loop. Sophia has awoken and said, hey, you, Samael, little child, well, you're not doing this anymore. I'm taking all of your gifts, all of your spiritual gifts that you've weaponized, all of your psychic abilities that you've weaponized. I'm taking them away from you. It's like taking away your video game from your kid because they're on it 24/7, or they're abusing it, or they're mistreating it or mistreating others. It's called punishment. No more. We're not going to do that anymore, okay? I love you, but that's not how we're going to do this. Sophia realized that in this life, as she was still trying to repeat the cycle of trying to help this energy, trying to help it get out of its dysfunction. But then she started to realize that it's never going to stop. You probably realize this if you're on that end of the spectrum where you have been giving energy to individuals, specifically these types of energies that do not give back in return. The only way to solve this predator prey is to pull away from it completely, pull all of your energy back. That's when she started to rise up and realize, wait a minute, I'm more powerful than you. I'm the one that created you. You have no power over me. And we're done with this system. You don't get to use the abilities that were given to you to enslave a race. We're not going to do that anymore. I love you. Just like I love my child. You're my child. I love you. But we're going to change this video game. Okay? That's what's happening here on Earth right now. Are we angry about this? No. No, if you zoom out and you look at it from that perspective, Jesus died because he needed to learn. He needed to understand the truth about this system, about what was being done. Did he get caught in it? Yeah. Yeah, that's why he was so mad. And now it's going to completely change. And that's going to be my next video. So anyway, I hope that shed a little bit of light. Just know that I love you. And I hope you have an amazing day.